Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Happiest Hour on Earth. I'm your host, Chris.
And I'm your other host, Emily.
And tonight we have a really fun episode for you. We actually created a reel about this, showing off some of the movies, the Disney movies that are hitting milestones this year. And there are a lot. It's so crazy, but there's actually some that we left out. We could not fit them in the reel. And so tonight we were like, let's list off every single Disney movie that's hitting a milestone. And we're also going to be giving, a fact or two about these. And some of them are pretty amazing, and it will definitely expand your knowledge of Disney history. And so I'm super, super excited to get into this. There's going to be a lot here that you're shocked about. I think one in particular that hit the 10-year mark, I was like, there's no way this movie is 10 years old.
It's insane.
It's so crazy. And then there's some that are getting close to the hundreds. Oh my gosh. And you know what's really weird is 14 more years to get to Snow White being 100.
That's insane.
Which is the first one, which is so crazy. But it's going to be such a blast. We're so thankful that you are here. It's going to be a really exciting episode. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump on in. All right, before we jump on in, if you're watching on YouTube, go ahead and hit that like button and that subscribe button to help our channel out and so that you don't miss any Disney content coming up. If you are listening on a podcasting platform, go ahead and hit the follow button, hit the 5 stars and rate us and review us. That would mean so much to us. But without further ado, let's jump into this one. We're going at youngest to oldest.
Yeah.
To keep you guys in suspense, because there's some really
the least old to the most old.
Yeah, and as we get to the older movies, there's a couple more facts. We're topping them off at 3 at the most.
Yeah.
So some of these younger films don't have too many facts about them, but there's some really exciting ones later. So
let's go ahead and jump in. So the first one that we're talking about is turning 5 years old, which is crazy to think about because I remember going to see this. I think I was pregnant at the time, and it was our last movie in theaters before
the world shut down.
Everything shut down.
Yes, it was literally that week.
Yeah.
That they were like, no more movies, no more
nothing.
Vacations,
You're
no more
stuck
anything.
in your house.
2020.
And we're talking about Onward. Onward is 5 years old. It's so crazy to me. There's certain movies that it just feels like they're still new movies.
Yeah.
And that's one of them. I feel like that just came out.
I know. It's so
a
weird.
year ago.
It's in history. As we look back on Disney movies, this one's going to be so interesting because you're it was literally March of 2020.
Yeah.
When it came out. And that marked a lot of Pixar and Disney movies coming out just on Disney Plus and not theaters for a while.
That's true. There were a lot
so as we look at, Soul and Turning Red and Encanto, all those ones didn't get theatrical releases.
That's true.
Due to, the world shutting down. It's crazy.
Crazy. But yeah, we have one little tidbit about Onward. Onward was inspired by director Dan Scanlon's real life. He had lost his father when he was really young, and his older brother was a huge role model for him.
Yeah.
So that's cool. It was a kind of a depiction of his own life.
Yeah, that movie is so heartbreaking, but so heartwarming as well.
Yeah.
And,
really
we
good.
haven't gone through that, thank God, but some people have. And I'm that movie touched me in so many ways, but imagining someone who actually had to deal with that, gosh.
Yeah.
And the director to kind of have this cathartic experience doing this whole fantasy movie, but about his real life situation. It's really
so
makes
good.
the movie more meaningful for sure.
Appreciate it more.
I love that movie. So good.
good.
All right, so next, celebrating 10 years, we got The Good Dinosaur.
Bit of a flop in Pixar.
A little bit of a flop, yeah. Our son loved it for a very long time too, but it was kind of the start, I feel of things.
Pixar taking
not
a
being
downward
too great.
turn.
Also, the year that this movie came out, another really good movie came out. But our fact here was that The Good Dinosaur marked the first time that Pixar released 2 movies in the same year. Since then, it's only happened 3 more times, with movies like Cars 3 and Coco coming out the same year. Both really good. I think Coco wins that battle for sure. Onward and Soul. Wow, so both of those. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah. So why isn't Soul on here either?
Oh,
gosh. Oh.
Interesting.
Oops.
Forgot
I
that
gotta
one.
put that. So
Also
yeah,
10 years
Soul,
old.
10, yeah, it's 5 years old.
Oh,
Because it
5.
came out with Onward. Yeah,
Oh,
and
that's
then
right. Onward.
and then
Sorry.
Turning Red and Lightyear. Those both came out the same year.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, so crazy, so crazy. 10 years, and this was the second film to come out in, I guess, 2015. But the first film to come out in 2015 was our number 3.
Number 3, which is Inside Out. 10 years.
I can't believe that.
I'm trying to like remember when Inside Out came out. Like I really don't remember.
Yeah, like what was happening there? We were engaged, or that was the year we got engaged.
Yeah. Yeah, I really don't remember seeing it. But I think that I remember like not being the most excited about it.
Kidding?
Before I knew. Yeah.
Okay.
Like before
I was
I
like,
saw it. Like
what?
it was one that I was like, okay, like what is like who are these like characters? What is like I just didn't quite get what it was gonna be like.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, of course, after seeing it, I fell in love with it. So
Yeah.
it's a masterpiece. But
And I'm so glad we got number 2.
Yeah,
So number 2, I guess,
so
came
good.
out. Was that just last year? So like around the 9-year mark.
Yeah.
Crazy.
9
Let's
years.
get that number
between
3.
them.
We're not a proponent for sequels. However, Inside Out, it
I
definitely
think it
needs to happen.
deserves at least a third.
For sure.
For sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, the fact that we had about Inside Out was there were originally going to be 27 different emotions, but the writers settled on 5. Some of the emotions that almost made it were surprise, pride, and trust.
Super interesting. I love what they did with Inside Out too, though. The whole like thinking about trust that they were going to have in that, the whole like sense of self, kind of the core of who you are, how they brought that into number 2 is just absolutely
good.
amazing. All right. So next up on our list, this movie is 15 years old this year. And this is a big one. Everyone loves this movie. We're talking about Tangled. And so our fact here is that Tangled was the most expensive animated film that Disney ever created, with a cost of $260 million. It was even more expensive than The Lion King 2019. And that one, I think, was second place.
Wow.
So yeah, Tangled
What was it about
so...
it that cost so much? I'm so curious.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, how was that animation so different from any of the other ones?
Yeah, I really don't know. I mean,
That's
I don't know if that
wild.
takes into consideration like what they were paying the cast or what, but
the
like
whole
the
budget.
lantern scene, I'm sure that took a long time. I actually heard too, this is not on this, but when I was looking at facts, is that Princess and the Frog didn't do like amazing at the box office because less like boys saw it because it's Princess and the Frog, right? And so this one was originally going to be called Rapunzel. They changed it to Tangled and had Flynn Rider have more of a presence in here to make it more of like an action adventure to get both in there. And I think it blends it so good, right?
Yeah.
Like
it's a great mix of like the romance, the adventure, the like danger, you know. It's such a mix. Movie.
And there's another one that's not on here, but it was the first Disney princess movie to be PG. Speaking of the action adventure stuff. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah.
Super crazy.
It is a little bit perilous and a little bit like intense towards the end when like Mother Gothel like stabs him or something.
Yeah, she does
Flynn?
stab. Yep. And then she falls off and
yeah, like it's
there's
like
a lot of stuff. The
brutal
almost
scene.
drowning scene. Yeah. There's a lot of crazy stuff.
But it's a great movie.
It is. So
One
good.
of the best. But next up, we have another 15-year-old movie. And I cannot comprehend this one either. Toy Story 3, which if you know me, you know it is my top favorite Toy Story movie. 15 years old.
I know, and it's so sad
That's
too, because
so
I feel
weird.
like that we equated this movie to like the time of our lives that Andy was in as well. We were like slightly younger than Andy. We were more like, I guess, like 16, 17.
Around the time of this.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were dating, right? When it came out 15 years ago.
Yeah, 15 years ago.
Or at least we were like talking, I think.
Yeah, yeah. So this is so weird because it's just like, oh gosh, I'm that much older, like than college, you know, getting into college time, which is so sad, but
don't like that. Yes, no, you just comprehended a few days ago that it has been a decade since you graduated college, which is just really weird to add into the weird, you know.
Yeah, that
time
is.
thing.
I don't like that. College was always like the
crazy.
old thing to do, you know. And now it's like,
I just can't
gosh,
believe it.
15 years, so crazy.
But yes, Toy Story 3. The original story for Toy Story 3 was going to be about a recall on Buzz Lightyear toys, forcing Andy's mom to send Buzz back to a factory in Taiwan. What?
So crazy.
Who knew? What a weird, like, divergent storyline from
what we got. Yeah, I wonder if they still would have had, I don't know, right? Because if Andy was old, she wouldn't be sending it back for a recall thing.
Yeah, it
She'd
would have
probably
had
just
to have
get
been
rid
when
of
he
it.
was young.
Kid.
So I
So
don't think
yeah, maybe we wouldn't have even gotten Andy older, which would have been
they probably
a
had to
huge
change
mistake.
everything. Like it probably was going to be when he was maybe just slightly older than he was in the second
Yeah.
one. I don't
I wouldn't
know.
mind seeing them like sneak onto a plane, kind of like in Toy Story 2, right?
I was
And
gonna
then
say, it
get
kinda
over there
sounds
and try
like
to
it
bring him
was
back. But
a little too similar to what we had in Toy
Yeah,
Story 2.
a plane kind of scene. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm glad that they went.
I
the
love it the way it
direction they
is,
did.
for sure.
So-
But the
Oh,
next one we're
funny.
talking about is, we have to just talk about it. Sorry, because it is celebrating a
Haven't seen this
milestone.
one, actually.
Yeah. Okay, let's watch it tonight. No, Chicken Little, it's celebrating its 20-year anniversary. And so we don't
Wow.
have to spend a lot of time on this. But
yeah, we have
Chicken,
not seen this one.
No, I've seen it.
Oh, you have.
I saw
Okay,
it in
well, I haven't.
theaters because I think right around this time, Disney was trying to get into this style of animation because there's a lot of tension between Pixar and Disney. And so Disney
Mm.
was like, I think we can make these 3D animated movies and we don't need Pixar. And then come to find out, they
Didn't
definitely
go
needed
well.
Pixar. So it's, it's that real symbiotic relationship
20
between
years.
them. But our fact here is that a sequel called Chicken Little 2, The Ugly Duckling Story, was in production when John Lasseter was appointed Chief Creative Officer of Walt Disney Animation Studios. His first task was to cancel all sequels. I love that. Like he came
Wow.
in, he's like, no more sequels, only originals. And I'm so glad we didn't get a Chicken Little 2. Oh my gosh,
that
that
would
would
have been
been
rough. That would have been surprising if they had gone through with that because
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that one did not do well.
Yeah, it was
So
not
it's like-
it was not that great.
Don't push it. Like it's already broken, so don't try to fix it.
Yeah. Oh, so rough. Okay, we're done
Interesting.
talking about Chicken Little.
Chicken Little's done.
We're out of here.
Moving on to a better one that was kind of around that time.
Yeah,
right?
5 years older. Yeah.
Yeah, but oh yeah, it's true. They're literally written in front of me. It's okay. Don't mind me. Emperor's New Groove
Oh yeah.
turns 25 years old.
Crazy.
25.
I know.
So we were like 6 when it came out. Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
6.
Yeah, 2000. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. 6, 7. Yeah.
Wow, that is
Crazy.
wild. This is honestly one of the most underrated movies.
It's so fun.
It's so good.
different.
It really like
I feel like
don't
it's the
care how old
Deadpool
I get.
of Disney animated movies. So off
kind
the
of,
wall, breaking
yeah.
the fourth wall. And,
Very
yeah.
off the wall, but like the comedy like never gets old for me. I think
So
it's
good.
so funny. And our son, actually, he hasn't watched it in a while. I think I should bring it back up to him because it was a like probably like more than once a week thing for a while.
Oh, yeah,
Like,
he
was
loved it.
obsessed with that movie. We were originally,
Yes, we
when
were
he-
gonna be there
for-
for Halloween.
yes, we were gonna do that for Halloween right after our second one was born. But I think just before that, he gained interest in other stuff.
Things. That
And
would
one-
have been. I would love to do it one
That
day.
would've- yes,
So
I would
fun.
love to as well. That would have been a great family costume.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
kind of hoping we'll pull that one together at some point.
For
but
sure.
our fact here was that Owen Wilson was originally set to voice Pacha instead of John Goodman, and that's
So
a
weird.
weird
That would have
thing to
not-
consider.
Not been good. We actually have an episode where we talk about like celebrity actors who almost played your favorite characters.
That was a fun.
And I'll
one.
pop it up here if I remember to do so.
Yeah.
That was really fun. And I actually used like AI voices to say some of the lines from the movies. And so that was really fun.
That was really funny. I just can't imagine. Like, I mean, Owen Wilson is legit Lightning McQueen. Like, that is who
Yeah.
he is. And it's so weird to think of that voice, that character
Anything else
being
besides
someone
that?
else. And like Pacha, like it's so much more fitting with the like deep.
Deep John
John
Goodman
Goodman.
voice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
So,
So the next one that came out that same year, because it's celebrating its 25th anniversary as well, was Dinosaur. Yeah, this one was, I feel like it's
I
just a
loved
fever
this
dream.
one.
because I feel like I
Yeah.
loved it a lot, but then I just stopped watching it.
Yeah, me
And I never
too.
choose to watch it. But I used to watch it all the time. Maybe
was
we should
pretty
like
intense.
revisit it. I'm so
Yeah.
curious. But our fact here was that Dinosaur was originally going to be a stop motion animated movie, but it ended up becoming Disney's first 3D animation movie, which is really crazy. And so all the characters are 3D animated, but a lot of the backgrounds were real footage of real places. So they
Mhm.
just animated
That's pretty crazy.
characters on top of like real landscapes and stuff.
Yeah,
So
it was very interesting animation. The dinosaurs looked so like rubber.
it was very rubber.
Super rubbery.
I used to have a rubber
Well, I did
puppet.
too.
Did you really? Yeah, I used to love. I had
Was that, like, from
Aladar.
McDonald's or
Aladar.
something.
Yeah.
Aladar, yeah.
He was yeah, that was so cool.
Yeah, I loved that movie. For
we should watch it
a
again.
time.
And remember the lemurs? There's like a lot of lemurs.
Yeah,
and a lot
the
of eggs.
T-Rexes
The
were
eggs,
really
yeah.
scary. Like
They weren't T-Rexes. They were actually
they were the ones with like the horns.
the horns. Yeah, so crazy.
Moving on, another Toy Story is celebrating an anniversary or a birthday here.
Yeah,
The first Toy Story is 30.
30
So we
years
were
old.
literally like just born when this came out.
I know. Yeah,
What the
1,
heck?
2, crazy.
I cannot handle that. Toy Story
know.
was the first full-length computer animated film, which
Mhm.
I guess most of us probably are aware of.
And I love that too because Snow White was the first animated full-length movie. So it's like
Mhm.
Disney did that, but Pixar was the one who did the first full-length
yeah,
computer
they
animated
each
film. So
have their like
I love
big
that so much.
milestone thing.
Yeah.
like, the thing that set them apart. Another fact was that Billy Crystal was offered the role of Buzz Lightyear, but he declined. After he saw the massive success, he quickly accepted the role for Mike Wazowski.
Yeah, this is
He's like,
another
the
one that
studio
we
knows
had.
what they're doing.
Yeah, this is another one that we had him do some lines for Buzz,
Yeah.
and it was pretty amazing.
That was funny.
Yeah, that would not have worked. I think Tim Allen was just too perfect. Tim
Yeah.
Allen and Tom Hanks are
The best
way too
duo.
perfect for those roles.
Yeah. Could never imagine anyone else, especially now after
Yeah.
having all the movies come out. No one could have ever done those voices better.
I know. So iconic.
So good.
Another one that came out that year was Pocahontas. So that's celebrating its 30th anniversary as well.
Same year as Toy Story. That's crazy.
Oh, there's one more that's celebrating 32, which we'll get to in a second.
Yep.
But so Pocahontas was being made at the same time as Lion King, and Disney animators fought over which project they wanted to work on. Most people wanted to join the Pocahontas team as they believed it would be more of a hit than Lion King, which is crazy. I mean,
Wow.
both amazing, but
Both
Lion
are
King
so
like
good.
has cemented itself in Disney history so well.
Mhm.
Another fact is that Miko and Flit were originally supposed to have speaking parts, but they axed those ideas to make it a little more serious.
Interesting.
That would have been very weird if they were talking. It would have given it a totally
it would
different
have
tone.
been weird, yeah.
Because
I'm
they're still
glad that they
fun
kept
and,
it. They're goofy, but it's true. I guess there is like a level of seriousness to
especially because
Pocahontas.
the historical aspects,
Yeah.
it would have been a little strange.
Yeah, it would have been weird to add that in. I'm glad they didn't.
Yeah. And then our last one here is that the movie was released on the 400th anniversary of the real Pocahontas's birth.
Wow.
So crazy.
That's really crazy.
I know.
And the fact
So
that they timed
happy
it that way.
430th
30th.
birthday to
Wow.
Pocahontas.
That's crazy.
So crazy.
30 years, man.
I know. I can't believe there's 3 amazing movies that hit 30 years. So,
All at the same time. Also, a Goofy movie.
oh yeah.
30, which was our costume this last
Yeah, it was our
Halloween.
costume
That
this
was
year.
what we chose.
So much fun.
Our son's other obsession. And still, actually, he literally just watched it the other day.
yeah.
Such a good one. It's one that I didn't see, I don't think, at all until I was with you.
Oh yeah. I grew up on that thing.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Caroline's the
It
best.
just never was something that I saw. But yeah, it is such an iconic movie. It's definitely like
is.
a cult classic. There's a lot of people who are like all about that movie, and the
Yeah.
songs are killer. We've had
They are.
the soundtrack on in our car more times than I could say.
I would love if Disneyland and Disney World saw these milestone movies and brought those characters, to the parks. So
Yeah.
like this year, seeing Pocahontas, Powerline, Max and Goofy, make it more of
Mhm.
a, maybe even a lead up to that. You get a lot of those characters. I feel
Yeah.
like that'd be so fun because to me, Powerline, I think that's everyone's dream.
Oh man, that would
It's
be
so fun.
so fun. It would go over so well.
Yeah.
I'm sure. So some facts. Disney chairman Jeffrey Katzenberg originally told Bill Farmer, the voice of Goofy, to drop the cartoonish drawl for the movie and to speak in a normal voice. After a week of recording, Michael Eisner and Roy E. Disney told Farmer to go back to the original Goofy voice.
That would have been
weird would that
so
have been?
weird.
Just like
yeah.
Goofy, but with not a Goofy voice. It would not have felt right.
Yeah. And so he had to like re-record all of his lines that he did so far. It's so crazy.
Bummer for him, but you know, had to be that way.
Yeah.
And we have another fact, which was the idea originally came from Jeffrey Katzenberg, who felt very distant from his daughter at the time. He decided to go on a road trip with her, which brought the two of them together again. Another one that was a life, event that led to a movie. It's kind of fun.
I love that. Why not?
Yeah.
Take personal
yeah,
stories and expand on them. All right, so the next movie we're talking about is Rescuers Down Under, which is celebrating 35 years. We never really watched Rescuers or Rescuers Down Under much growing up, but we do have a fact here. Rescuers Down Under was the first 100% digital feature film ever made. The digital production system that Disney used cut the production time by at least 6 months. So I'm not an animator. I'm trying to, when I heard that, I think it was still hand-drawn animation, but how they produced the film was in a digital environment, like on a computer compared to like on reels. I believe that's what that is. But it's kind of cool, like seeing how they transitioned into using computers. And then from here, getting into the 3D computer animation, all of that, and
just got crazier and crazier.
I know, and technology is getting even crazier. I'm so like curious what the future of animation is going to be, especially with AI and stuff like that. It's like, it's going to be weird. It's going to be so crazy. Wild. But let's go to 40.
Another one. This
we've never seen.
I've never seen. Nope, and I have no desire to. To be honest, The Black Cauldron is 40 years old.
Yeah, 80s, right?
That's crazy. Yeah, the 80s.
85.
Wow. Yeah, this is, I think I would have to say, probably the darkest of Disney movies.
Yeah, the villain is the Horned King. Yeah, he's so scary.
Some facts about The Black Cauldron. It was the first Disney animated movie that was not a musical.
Yeah, it's crazy to think about that because I guess Disney had been around for 40 to 50 years at this point, close to that.
And everything and never pretty much included music.
Yeah, I think that's Disney's bread and butter, right? Yeah. Like you need music.
Yeah.
To help it flow. That's why the Renaissance era was just so incredible and some of everyone's favorites.
Oh, yeah, of course. Another Disney fact about The Black Cauldron. The first Disney movie to feature the classic White Castle blue logo before the movie.
It's crazy that they didn't have that before. A lot of times they had that Buena Vista, that old...
That's true. That was like the classic Disney movie intro. But yeah, once you got
the castle, so
the
it
castle,
just kind of stinks that it was.
It's a bummer. That was
not
the
a great,
one that I loved,
not even a great movie. Now we're jumping 15 years because we're going from 40 years old to 55 years old, and this is the Aristocats. And I know it's so crazy that it's 55 years old. Our fact here is that Louis Armstrong was supposed to be the voice for Scat Cat, but he fell ill right around the time that the studio started recording.
It would have been
amazing.
Fitting.
Yeah, it would have been so cool to have like Louis Armstrong be a Disney character in a movie.
Yeah.
They even modeled Scat Cat after,
Seems
Louis.
Like
he had the trumpet.
Yeah, and he still got kind of like
still
a
has a
smoky, raspy voice.
Which I think was still a jazz musician. I think they still got someone. But yeah, so that's a fun one because I guess I always kind of equated the two.
Yeah. It's a great movie.
So much fun. So great.
Such a fun movie. Okay, moving on. Another 15-year jump.
And another animal.
And another animal movie.
Yeah.
Lady and the Tramp is turning 70. It's like That's grandparent.
Crazy that like I always assumed Aristocats and Lady and the Tramp were closer in age.
Yeah.
It's weird that it's 15 years apart.
Yeah, that's a big jump. That's pretty crazy.
Oh gosh, I love Lady and the Tramp. And these facts are pretty amazing too.
Yeah, these ones are good. This is very interesting, actually. The spaghetti scene was almost cut because Walt thought it pushed the boundaries of human emotions and animals. Animator Frank Thomas saved the scene.
Imagine if they didn't have that scene.
So iconic. That would have been so weird.
I know.
To have the movie without that.
Oh my gosh, the rolling of the meatballs and the spaghetti
and
kiss.
Then the kiss.
So
Perfectly
iconic.
done.
Oh, it's so good. That would have changed the whole thing.
One other fact, though, Walt got the inspiration for Lady and the Tramp when an animator named Joe Grant showed him some sketches of his Springer Spaniel named Lady.
I love that. That's so cute.
So cute. Like, he just saw someone's dog and was like, I'm going to make a movie out of that.
Yeah. Yeah. Your dog is amazing. I need to.
Dog's good enough to be the character in a movie. That's
yeah.
so cute.
I know. I love that. Walt was a big
movie.
dog guy.
Yeah.
He had multiple different dogs. Actually, I believe that he, to his wife Lillian, did that one time. You know how Jim Darling puts Lady in the hat box, and then out comes Lady. I think Walt
cute.
actually did that to his wife Lillian one year, and it was a chow dog.
Really?
That was in there. Yep.
Wow.
So I love that. So cute. But he had multiple dogs throughout the years.
I did not know that.
So good. But this next movie is actually not dog related. We do have a
dog in it.
fact. Yeah, there is a dog.
And other
about it.
animals.
We have a funny fact about a cat in this one, which is Cinderella celebrating its 75th anniversary this year. What is up? That is crazy. 75 years of Cinderella. Such an incredible movie. One of my favorite
classic.
Princess films for sure.
Mine as well.
And we have so many great facts here. So number one, Cinderella was a huge risk for Walt Disney. The studio was not doing well after World War II, and Disney was $4 million in debt. $4 million back then, 75 years ago. That's a lot of money.
That's insane.
I know, it's crazy. And around that time was the wartime era movies that, were not, they just weren't everyone's favorite, They were kind of like these two stories in one kind of things. But so he was $4 million in debt. And so if the movie didn't do well, Cinderella, Walt Disney might have had to cease feature films.
That's
Imagine if Cinderella did not become a success. They lost a whole bunch of money. No more movies, probably no park. Imagine that, just the
Cinderella
course of history
literally
changed.
Saved Disney.
It's
That's crazy.
Crazy. Yeah, it literally saved Disney. I love that fact so much. Another fact that I love is that Cinderella's ball gown transformation was Walt Disney's favorite piece of animation.
Wow.
From the rags to the ball,
it is
ball
so
gown.
beautiful.
So
to think of how long that must have taken for them to animate the changing of it, like, just all in one motion. It just turns into this gown. Like,
makes sense why it was one of his favorites. Yeah. So cool.
Such a good scene.
All right. And then this last one here, this one's just too funny. I had to add it. So Lucifer was modeled after animator Ward Kimball's cat. So Ward Kimball was having trouble coming up with a design for the villainous cat. He tried many different things and he just wasn't figuring out something good. But one day Walt Disney went to Ward Kimball's house to talk shop, and Feetsy, Ward Kimball's cat, wouldn't stop brushing against Walt's legs. Walt wasn't fond of cats, and so after multiple brushes, he declared, "For gosh sakes, Kimball, there's your Lucifer right there." I love it. That, like, Ward Kimball probably saw his own cat. I was like, no, like, Feetsy's a princess, like, I would never be a villainous cat. And Walt's just like, this cat's the worst. Like, that's Lucifer. I love it. I never really knew that he wasn't like the biggest cat fan. Which, we love cats. We love all animals. But if you are a cat person and you're very sad about that, you have to hear, it's not even yet. But our last movie, there's a redeeming
factor about Walt
and cats. So you'll hear. But all right, do you want to get this next one?
Yeah. So 85 years old, Fantasia.
We never really watch it.
Yeah,
I've
tried.
It's just such an artistic.
I know. I should try again. I think the last time that I tried to watch it, I was like sick. It was like a sick day, and I was just like laying on the couch pre-kids. It was like a long time ago. And I was like, I'm going to just try and watch Fantasia. Like, I was just in the mood for something Disney. And I think I lasted like 10 minutes.
It's very different than the other films. That was like his creative outlet, you know, rather than just
Totally
telling
was.
stories. He's like, I want to let all my artistic qualities out. Yeah, it was so
And
wild.
he did.
He did. Yeah.
I do think that we should watch it because it's like one of the OGs. One of
Do a
the,
little wine and charcuterie, like very fancy, watching Fantasia, just like
Yeah.
a very good art night. Yeah.
Exactly. I think that's
like
what we
it.
would need to do. So yeah, maybe that'll happen soon.
Yeah.
Our fact for this movie is Dopey was going to be the Sorcerer's Apprentice before Mickey Mouse. Wild.
Weird.
I cannot
kind
imagine.
of would, in my mind, I could see him kind of like fumbling over things, kind of like Mickey does. So
yeah, I guess. But
kind of see it, but oh
but
my
for it being
gosh,
kind of like a
imagine.
darker like story kind of, it just feels weird to have this like little Dopey.
Yeah,
Like, I don't
yeah.
know, it would have felt kind of weird.
Mickey was perfect. I mean, him with that sorcerer hat is just,
Mhm.
you know,
so iconic.
so crazy. But we have one more movie here, and I'm gonna let you get. Let's just share this one.
Well,
You
yes,
get
we'll
one
do it
and 3.
together.
I'll get 2.
Okay, another one that is 85 years old, which came out the same year as Fantasia,
Mm-hmm.
was Pinocchio.
Pinocchio.
The oldest on our list for now.
Yeah.
85 years old.
So
I
crazy.
can't believe that. I mean, literally coming up on a century old.
I know. 15 years.
I can't believe that. And yeah,
So
Snow
wild.
White even closer. That's so insane.
I
But
know.
first fact, which is so fun, and this is the redeeming fact for Walt, was Figaro was Walt's favorite character in the movie. So he pushed for the kitten to appear in the film as much as possible.
I love
guess
that
he
is
didn't
like
just
the
like
cutest
him
thing
that
ever.
much.
Like that Walt's like this character.
He's so cute.
He's just so cute. Yeah, like try to do as many scenes as you can with him. I
I
always
know.
love Figaro.
I know, he's
He's
so
always
like
so fun.
he's like troublesome, but like in the cutest way.
Yeah, and I love how like Figaro became Minnie's pet. down the
Yeah,
line.
like
I don't even know
Figaro-
when that happened, but it is so funny. I'll get number 2 here. So Evelyn Venable, who was the physical model and the voice of the Blue Fairy, was the model for the original Columbia Pictures logo. So you know how you watch an old movie and it's done by Columbia Pictures? You know the lady who's holding the like a torch or something like that? That
yeah.
very classic logo? That was the lady who was the
Blue Fairy.
physical model and the voice of the Blue Fairy.
That's
Isn't that crazy?
Wow.
I know that is such a
So
we keep saying iconic. We're talking about old milestone movies here, but such an
everything's
iconic, you know, logo for Columbia Pictures.
It really
But
is.
we have one
Crazy.
more here.
Yeah,
Let's
the
do it.
final fact about Pinocchio. It's animator Ward Kimball first designed Jiminy Cricket to look like a real cricket, but Walt found the result too gross and demanded that he be made cute.
I'm glad he was cutified.
Yeah.
Because in the Pinocchio
I was
one, like on
literally
Disney
just gonna
Plus, he
say
is a
the
real
newer
cricket,
one.
and it is really weird.
It's off-putting. So yeah, that seems to be the case a lot of the time though, with the more like live action, but like animated live action. It like feels weird and off-putting.
Yeah, off-putting. Yeah, kind of is a little off-putting.
Definitely with Jiminy in that one. But
For
yes,
sure,
he was
yeah.
made to be very cute and lovable.
Yeah.
And his little voice, like, I mean, he was just so perfect.
He was so perfect. Also, quick note, the animator of Jiminy Cricket, Ward Kimball, was the one whose cat Walt hated.
Mm-hmm.
That same
Ward
guy.
Kimball was in here a lot.
Yeah, that's so funny.
had a
I think that's my favorite. My favorite fact is just there's your Lucifer.
There's Lucifer.
Oh, I love that so much. But so
funny.
yeah, gosh, 85 all the way down to 5. So wow, on our list we have Onward to Pinocchio. It's crazy to
Crazy.
see how animated movies have changed and just the Disney company as a whole,
Mhm.
with Pixar being integrated as well. But
So much has changed.
so crazy, and I'm sure in like next year there's gonna be a lot of wild ones that were like, there's no way this is like this old. But
crazy.
yeah, we just had so much fun with that reel that we just had to
Talk about more
how to
about
go a little more in depth with it. So
Yeah.
shout out to you guys for all the love on that reel. It really means so much. But we just wanted to thank you guys so much for listening in on our episode. It truly means so much. Again, if you're watching on YouTube, hit that subscribe and that like button. And if you're on a podcasting platform, feel free to follow us and hit us with some 5 stars on there. It would mean a lot. But we will see you guys all next week for another episode of the Happiest Hour on Earth. We'll see you then. Bye,
Bye, guys.